Every unforgettable character has a lie that they live by and a wound that made them believe it. That's why Andrew Neiman in Whiplash destroys himself for greatness, why Don Draper in Mad Men can't stop lying, and why Chris in Get Out keeps swallowing his voice until it almost kills him. In this video, I'm going to show you how to expose the misbelief at your character's core and the wound that created it, because great characters don't come from their strengths, they come from their damage. What's happening, party people? This is James A. Hurst, internationally tolerated screenwriter, story expert, and I'm walking here. This is my channel where I help writers, filmmakers, and other sketchy misfits write the story that writes their future. This is part 4 in my series on the 5 layers of compelling character. If you missed the first 3 videos on the hero's goal, the gift, and the flaw, you can find them all in the playlist here. Bloink. In this video, we're covering the last 2 layers in my 5-layer character builder, the misbelief and the wound. By the end of this video, here's what you'll know how to do. Identify the lie your character believes about themselves or their world, trace that misbelief back to the wound that created it, and build a story that forces your character to confront their deepest lie. And stick around to the end because I'll be sharing my free guide to compelling characters, or you can download it now if you're feeling impatient. Or don't. I'm not your mother. But if I were, I'd probably ask, if you're not too busy with your busy life, to maybe give your mother a call. All right, let's get this done. So what exactly is a misbelief? The misbelief is the deeply held lie that your character believes about themselves, other people, or the world. A lie that feels absolutely true to them, even though it's leading them down the wrong path. Think of the misbelief as the warped philosophy that keeps steering your character down blind alleys, a broken compass that they don't even realize they're following. Now, mine points to leftover pizza and an appalling lack of self-control for a man my age, but for your character, their misbelief will lead them to make bad decisions that will complicate their journey. Look at Andrew in Whiplash. He's a young jazz drummer at an elite conservatory. His goal is to earn the lead drummer spot in the conservatory jazz band led by the legendary tyrant Fletcher. And by legendary, I mean the kind of teacher who makes Gordon Ramsay look like Mr. Rogers.
Wait for my cue. 5, 6, 7. Rushing. 5, 6, and. Dragging. 5, 6, 7. Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Andrew's misbelief is simple but pure. If I'm not extraordinary, I'm nothing. Because of this misbelief, he's willing to withstand endless abuse from Fletcher.
You must be upset. Are you upset?
No.
No, so you just don't give a shit about any of this?
I do give a shit about this.
Are you upset? Yes or fucking no? Yes, you are upset.
Yeah.
At first, Andrew doesn't see Fletcher's abuse as abuse because it lines up with his misbelief. It's like Andrew's perfectionism put on a black t-shirt 2 sizes too small and dry swallowed an entire bottle of Adderall. Andrew's powerful misbelief causes him to throw away anything that might get in the way of his goal, even people.
And so for those reasons, I'd rather just, break it off clean.
He pushes himself too hard, practicing until his hands bleed, guided by the faulty idea that pain equals progress. We get a window into his crack philosophy during this scene.
I'd rather die drunk, broke at 34 and have people at a dinner table talk about me than live to be rich and sober at 90 and nobody remember who I was.
As you can see, Andrew's trapped by his misbelief. And beneath the plot of Whiplash, there's a much deeper emotional journey, a crucible that pushes Andrew to face his misbelief head on. And the results aren't pretty.
You just tell Fletcher that I'm coming, you
Andrew's journey in Whiplash is so compelling because his misbelief resonates. There's a logic to it. Fletcher might be a raving psycho, but to give the devil his due, he makes some fair points. To become great, you need to sacrifice, you need to push yourself hard, and you need the courage to call out mediocrity.
There are no 2 words in the English language more harmful than good job.
Actually, the 2 most harmful words in the English language are surprise, colonoscopy. Don't ask me how I know that. But my point, and I think I have one, is that Fletcher's misbelief, which Andrew also subscribes to, is half right. You do need to push yourself. You do need to sacrifice, and you need to insist on excellence. But where's the line? When does it cross from ambition into abuse? Andrew starts the story believing there is no line. By the end, he learns there most definitely is. That journey from misbelief to enlightenment is what makes Whiplash so compelling. So if a misbelief is the cracked compass that drives a character, the natural question is, where did that compass get broken? Every destructive belief has an origin story. That's the wound, the primal injury that broke a character's compass and gave birth to their cracked view of the world. In the film Good Will Hunting, Will's misbelief is, if I let anyone close, I'll get hurt. That lie was born in a childhood scarred by abuse. In the series Euphoria, Rue's misbelief is, I can't survive without drugs. That comes straight from the unresolved grief of losing her dad. In the series Breaking Bad, Walter White's misbelief is, power and control are the only way to matter in this world. That lie sprang from the wound of being pushed out of the startup that he helped build, leaving him bitter, humiliated, and convinced the world is out to screw him. Different characters, different stories, but the pattern is the same. A wound cuts deep, the misbelief grows around it, and the flaw hardens on top like armor. And nowhere is this pattern clearer than in the film Get Out, where the entire story turns on Chris's wound and the lie it created. Chris's misbelief is, if I let people in, I'll just get hurt. So he stays guarded, swallowing his discomfort instead of speaking up.
So how long has this been going on, this thing? How long?
Fairer skin has been in favor for the past, couple of hundreds of years. But now the pendulum is swung back. Black is in fashion.
And like every compelling misbelief, it's only half wrong. If Chris reacted to every awkward, racially charged moment, he'd never make it through the weekend with his girlfriend's white family.
Not bad. Hey, Nielsen? So, is it true? Is it better?
Wow. The lie feels safe because it works, and it's always worked until now.
Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
That's when Missy, his girlfriend's mom, who just happens to be a hypnotherapist, forces him back to the night his wound happened, the night his mom died.
Where was your mom?
She was coming home. She wasn't home.
From work. And what do you do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I just sat there.
You didn't call anyone?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I just thought that if I did, it'd make it real.
Chris froze the night his mother died. He did nothing, and the guilt of that inaction convinced him he can't trust himself to act when it matters. Out of that wound, he built a misbelief. If I let my guard down, I'll lose everything. Over one nightmarish weekend at the Armitage house, Chris is forced through a terrifying crucible that crushes his misbelief and frees him from his wound, which, by the way, is the worst Airbnb review ever. That's the power of Get Out. In one single weekend, the story puts the hero's misbelief on the table, tests it, and transforms him. But in TV, we can't move that fast. We take the same psychology and stretch it out over multiple seasons. And to see how that works, we need to look at one of TV's most unforgettable characters. Don Draper is the poster child for the slow burn. His wound and misbelief don't reveal themselves all at once. They peel back layer by layer, episode by episode. Now, spoiler alert, in this next bit, we're going to have to reveal Don's secret because it's all about his wound. So if you haven't seen Mad Men, check the calendar because it premiered when Blackberries were still cool. Just let that sink in for a second. And besides, this is a writer's room and spoilers don't exist here. Our job, you and I, is to pull stories and characters apart and see how they work. So the question is, who is Don Draper? The truth is, he wasn't always Don Draper. He was born Dick Whitman, the son of an abusive father and a stepmother who despised him. He grew up in poverty, neglected, ashamed of who he was. That's the wound, the deep, unfixable pain that convinced him he's unworthy of love. To survive that pain, he built a misbelief. If anyone ever saw the real him, they'd reject him. So he invented Don Draper, the perfect mask. Don's wound taught him that being authentic equals danger. That's why he can't stop lying, he can't stop running, he can't stop creating new versions of himself. He's catfishing everyone, including himself. Don Draper's journey across 7 seasons of Mad Men shows the power of getting this wound-misbelief connection right. One childhood trauma created a lie that fueled story after story. And that's exactly what you need to master if you're writing for television. Characters whose internal conflicts can generate endless, compelling scenarios. This video isn't sponsored, but it is brought to you by my Pilot Script Launchpad, a 4-week course I designed just for TV writers. If you're working on a pilot script, you know that network executives want more than a strong concept. They want characters so compelling they can power multiple seasons. That's what we cover in the course, along with everything else you need to write a killer pilot, from crafting a premise, honing the theme, building the world, to crafting a pilot story that works. Plus, free bonus lessons, regular live Q&A sessions with me, and a supportive community. If that sounds good to you, click the link in the description for more. Results not guaranteed, but side effects may include a finished pilot and an alarming burst of confidence. So far in this video, we've seen how great movies like Whiplash and Get Out use the journey from misbelief to truth as the spine of their stories. And we saw how the writers of Mad Men used Don Draper's wound and misbelief to fuel season after season of brilliant TV. Now the question is, how do you harness the power of the misbelief and the wound for your character? Let me show you how. All right, so when I'm building out my character background, here are 3 questions I ask myself about their wound and the misbelief. 1, can I draw a straight line from wound to misbelief? If the wound doesn't logically birth that lie, it's just melodrama. 2, does their misbelief manifest as a flaw? If the misbelief isn't causing your character problems, if it isn't steering them in the wrong direction, then it isn't strong enough. 3, does your story corner them with the truth? A great story forces the character to confront the lie they live by and make a choice. If your Act 3 doesn't feel like a tax audit for your character's soul, raise the stakes. And don't forget to grab your guide to compelling character right here. And in the next video, I'll show you how to put all 5 layers together into a single compelling portrait. This is James A. Hurst for Screenwriting, reminding you don't need anyone's permission to start creating. Greenlight yourself and start writing the story or script that writes your future. Until next time, be easy, stay awesome, and keep writing.